All right, let's do this. On my previous video on the Tiempo Legend 10 Pro, I complained that the boots do this. Bend in two in the middle and twist. Like, look at that, look at that. I said that this was essentially a sign of a lesser quality boot, and also that this massively affects the performance of the boot in terms of responsiveness. And I absolutely stand by that. However, there was a few people who questioned whether I was correct or not, and I'm going to address those questions directly today. So the first one is nice and simple. A couple of people commented. I'll put the comments up on screen. I'm not having to go at these people. I'm just saying these were the people that commented this publicly, and I would like to address this particular comment. Thank you for giving your opinion. I'm now essentially giving an answer to a question. So, what they said was that they've not seen the Tiempo Legend 10 Pro do this in any other reviews, and that either I had a fake pair or I had a dodgy pair from Nike. And these were not the only people who said this. I got this message a few times in DMs, etc., etc. This is another pair of Tiempo Legend 10 Pros. These are brand new. I've just taken them out of the box. I have not worn these. I literally ordered these in for the express purpose of doing this. It's the same problem. There is essentially very, very little difference between this and this. And the only difference between them is that this one has been worn. So this does bend easier. Like, there's no question. The bend and flex in this is easier than it is on this one. But that's because these have been worn and used, and these haven't. So these have a little bit more stability to them, but I can still, out of the box, literally, these have never been on my feet. These arrived today to my house, and they bend in the middle, they twist, they rotate. This is not an individual issue with one pair of boots. I didn't get unlucky. I didn't buy fakes. I bought them direct from Nike, so, you know. And it's a problem with the Tiempo. It is a boot problem. And if other reviewers haven't pointed this out, then that's a question for other reviewers, if you ask me. I've not really seen many videos on this. I've not actually watched any videos on the Tiempo Legend 10 Pro, so that's down to you. If you want to check out some content, some thoughts on reviews, then you should definitely watch the Football Boot Hour podcast I do with Lockhart Boot Blog. We're going to be talking about something similar to this tonight, so it'll be a few hours after this goes up, and if you missed that, it will be up on Sunday. You can find it on the Boot Wizard channel, the Football Boot Hour. The other thing I want to address is that I got a few DMs from people telling me, oh, football boots are supposed to do that. They're supposed to bend in the middle. Well, I brought an array of boots here, and let's test that theory out. Let's start with my personal favorite, the old Adidas Nemesis. As you can see, the bend and flex is in the forefoot. Speed flow, same again. You can see a little bit of bend through the middle because there's so much force going through trying to keep the Carbotex, or the Carbotex doing the bend, that it puts some additional pressure on the midfoot, but does not, no matter how hard I try, doesn't bend in the middle. We've got old boots. This is not a new phenomenon. This is a Lotto Futura, and again, does not bend in the middle. This is the Tiempo, which does bend in the middle, and it really, but you have to really support the midfoot of the boot in order to get it to just bend in the forefoot. Like, it starts to fold in very, very quickly. Not great. We'll get into that in a second. Another pair. You can see where I'm going with this. We have another pair of pro level boots. So this is the new Mercurial Vapor 16 Pro, which I just got in because we're going to review these as well. Get subscribed to the channel. And you can see that you don't have an amazing snapback, and that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about stability through the midfoot and the heel, which I've actually been very impressed with on this pro level model just out of the box. And then you've got not a great spring back, but it's good enough. Then we've got things like this. So this is where I wanted to get to. So this is a €60 boot from Decathlon. It is the Kipster Veralto. And this is a really good example of how boots are supposed to be put together, or why boots are built this way. So let's have a look. This has two different types of material. You can see them in two different colors, dark orange, light orange. Dark orange is a hard plastic material designed to give structure, and light orange is a material that's underneath that is much more flexible. And you can see where they've put the flex points, all here to allow where the boot bends and keep this midfoot and heel nice and stable. The entire purpose of this outsole, the way it's built, is to do that. So that kind of shows that boots are supposed to be built like that, because they're literally being built in this way. And you can see these are designed to allow some rotational movement in the forefoot and a good flex. That's how it's supposed to be built. Now, by all means, when you have your boots, if you have your boots for quite a long time, the likelihood is that the plastic will start to degrade. What the outsole is made out of will start to degrade over time. Now, because I test a lot of boots, I never really get boots to the point where it completely degrades and you can do a full bend in half, but my Vapor 13s are probably one of the best examples, because you can see that when I apply enough pressure, you can start to see it go. Now, it's not disastrous at all, but you can start to see that there's a bit of extra bend in there, more than there was when they were new, because they have been used more. There's wear and tear on that particular sole plate. Now, if you have a pair of boots that completely fold in two, that didn't when you first bought them, that means they're degraded to the point where you should replace them, because they no longer have the structure that you need. So replace those boots. Now, the next thing that we can get into is, why do you want a stable midfoot and heel, and what benefits that has to performance, and also how that leads into how a good reviewer will review, how much objectivity you can get in there. But that would take an extra long time. So if you want to see that, let me know down in the comments. And for now, go and check out my Tiempo Legend 10 Pro review that I'm talking about by clicking here.